And there's a nice little jar full of shake. Spent the evening last night kind of just cleaning up my buds. Pakistani Kush, I love it. Very, very good Landrace. One of the original Kushes right here. Actually coming from the Gandhi Mountains out there by Pakistan. Now this bud didn't actually come from there. My bud comes from the backyard, but the stories go that the seeds have all come from there. So, I've talked to you guys many, many, many times about hemp, the differences between hemp and marijuana, what classifies them differently. But it's always good to repeat yourself. Sometimes it's always good to repeat yourself. Every now and then, you have to repeat yourself. So for the argument of repeating yourself, I actually did find another article, a little bit different than, it has a lot of the same information as before, but the article had a little bit of new information for those of you who are curious about industrial hemp versus marijuana. Two of the major differences that can actually be defined between the two is that there is a scientific difference and a legal difference between the two. Uh, both of them have been around for ages. I mean, they both come from the same exact plant, Cannabis sativa L. Uh, the way I described it before is the difference between watermelons, or the difference between tomatoes, different types of tomatoes, or the difference between the different types of grapes. Really can't say that a red grape is a green grape because a red grape is red and a green grape is green. White grapes, green grapes, red grapes, they're all grapes. They all grow on vines. They all come from the same family, but they all have different tastes. They all have different looks, different sizes. Same thing when it comes to cannabis. Cannabis is the main term for the plant altogether. The term for smoking is called marijuana. That's what we smoke. Hemp is the industrial use of it that makes things like my necklace, or soon they're actually realizing that hemp might even replace petroleum in the future. Now, cultivators have actually been manipulating hemp for over 10,000 years. It actually originated in what we now know as Taiwan, but 10,000 years ago it wasn't actually Taiwan. But we now know it to be Taiwan. So hemp actually originated from there, and throughout the years we manipulated it over and over and over. We noticed that hemp actually started out as a tall, very, very versatile, very different type of plant. It literally looks almost like marijuana bamboo, if you would. Each time it grows a little stalk, it puts out its leaves. Stalk, leaves, stalk, leaves. So with it growing this big old thick stalk that just goes up with a few leaves, it literally looks like bamboo if you were to see industrial hemp up close. It looks like marijuana bamboo. But of course, these cultivators also noticed that in between the hemp plants were these bushier, shorter bushes that actually would gather flowers and gather these flowers on them. What they did was they actually removed those bushier ones and started cultivating just those bushier ones, and found out that these bushier ones had more of a psychoactive effect over the industrial tall lengthy ones. So they just started cultivating it. For 10,000 years, they separated the plants, grew the plants, used the plants. Now, the two different types. You literally have the two differences, two main differences. Start off with the scientific difference. Hemp produces high CBDs and a low THC, while marijuana produces high THC and a low CBD. Now, CBD has been the cannabinoid that we all know as the medicinal property to marijuana. It's in every form of marijuana has some form of CBD. Sometimes it has very little, sometimes it's a little bit higher depending on the strain. High CBD, such as Charlotte's Web, has been known to help treat people with kids with epilepsy. The CBD also treats arthritis, chronic pains, stuff like that. While THC has more of a psychoactive effect, basically meaning you feel really good, kind of get stuck in the couch and just laugh. Psychoactive effects. But the THC has been known to treat the same exact ailments as CBD, only has a little bit extra here and there, like insomnia. THC can really help you go right to sleep, and other forms of things. That's the scientific side. So hemp really cannot get you high. It's if you come across a hemp field and think, "Oh, really? Let's go smoke." Yeah, you're going to find yourself sitting there for quite some time and not really feeling too high. On the legal side, there really isn't much difference on the legal side, unfortunately, due to the fact that we had no research, no studies, no nothing about hemp or cannabis or anything. So on the legal side, the Controlled Substance Act of 1970 banned hemp by declaring all cannabis to be a Scheduled 1 drug with no medical value and a high dependency rate. So basically, the government said it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. It can't be hemp. It's got to be a duck. I always love using that analogy. That's basically how we looked at it. Hemp looks like marijuana, smells like marijuana, grows like marijuana. Therefore, it's marijuana. Has no value whatsoever. Industrial, medical, nothing. So they went ahead and banned it. Since then, it's been eradicated. We've seen the war on drugs, prohibition continue all the way up into basically 2014. Last year, President Obama actually gave a bill that allows growth of any cannabis plant with a THC level of 0.3% or lower. So literally right now throughout the nation, it's legal to grow industrial hemp. Granted, if you grow industrial hemp, expect maybe the DEA might come to check it out. And by checking it out, I mean they're going to break down your door, put a gun to your head, probably put you into arrest. Hopefully they don't shoot you in this process, or any of your family members, or your dog. Seen them shoot dogs too. All in the meantime, they're going to rip up all your plants out, test one of them, find out it was only hemp, and go, crap, we're sorry. Tough luck. So even though hemp is considered legal by a bill signed by President Obama, the DEA will still come and get you for it. But with all this legality going around, who actually is going to be holding the patent for marijuana as, or cannabis as a actual medicine. Here's a shocker. Every medication in our world has a patent on it. A certain company that holds the key to making the money for the legalization or for whatever it is that they are patent to use or provide. Vicodin, OxyContin is now patented for kids 11 to 16. Um, you get the idea. But what about marijuana and cannabis? What if I were to tell you that literally cannabis is actually has the patent being held by the United States government? While the government is sitting here telling us that marijuana, cannabis, is a Scheduled 1 drug with no medical value whatsoever, over here, that's what they're telling us. No medical value, cannot be used for anything, Schedule 1 drug, will not change it. Over here, they're telling us, but we hold the patent for it to become a medical drug. So when it does become a medical drug, we make the money for it. Nobody else. No fissure company is going to come in. No OxyContin company. No nothing like that's going to come in and take over marijuana. GMO, nothing like that, because the government owns it. Owned. But telling you it should not be owned. Owned should not be owned. Kind of typical government. And they wonder why the American people don't really trust them as much as we used to. So with the government actually holding the patent, I actually wrote this down just to read it to you. This is the 2003. Okay, this patent was written out in 2003. It's the U.S. Patent 6630507. So if you want to go look that up, that's the patent number. And it's titled Cannabinoids as Antioxidants and Neuroprotectants. This is how it reads. Cannabinoids have been found to have antioxidant properties unrelated to NMDA receptor antagonism. This newfound property makes cannabinoids useful in the treatment and prophylaxis of wide varieties of oxidation-associated diseases such as ischemic, age-related, inflammatory, and autoimmune diseases. Pause. So they're literally saying that cannabinoids can be used for age-related diseases and is completely different from the medications they already have now. They're not saying marijuana, just cannabinoids. Okay? Cannabinoids can be used and is known to be used for age-related diseases. Unpause. The cannabinoids are found to have particular applications as neuroprotectants, for example, in limiting neurological damage following ischemic insults such as stroke, trauma, or in the treatment of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or HIV dementia. So basically, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, neurological mind-altering diseases that are known to be come on by age can be treated with cannabinoids. And the government knows this. They have the patent. That's what I'm reading to you guys right now. This is the wording of the patent. Okay, it was a little excerpt that I wrote down. So the government knows that this can be helped and treated and used. Non-psychoactive cannabinoids are particularly advantageous to use because they avoid toxicity that is encountered with psychoactive ones at high doses. So basically, they already know that CBD can be used for Parkinson's, can be used for this stuff, and they hold the patent on CBD. So that's why you're seeing these states come out with, CBD only oils and stuff like that, and they refuse THC. They refuse anything else, and they don't want to hear it because they already know the government holds the patent for CBD. Why do they need to use THC? There's no patent on that one yet. Well, actually, technically there is. There's a patent on all cannabinoids, owned by the government, knowing that it has medical value. But anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting. Thought I'd bring that to you. Just so you know, the government holds the patent on everything they tell you is not liable. So while we're sitting out here explaining to everybody the medical healing miracles of marijuana, the government's sitting there going, yeah, I already know that. Oh, it's illegal. Don't use it. Remember, educate before you medicate. We'll get on out of here. Gotta go find me my tinfoil hat now. You all have a peaceful, positive, and productive day. Coming at you.